Syrian Information Minister says we are in Geneva to launch a realistic political track concerned with the Syrian affairs with no foreign intervention. Confusion and subordination prevail among the coalition delegation in Geneva. The Iraqi Prime Minister says those who do not condemn terrorism and are political partners in killing and bloodshed. Good afternoon. The first session between Syria's official delegation, headed by Dr. Bashar Jaafari, Syria's permanent representative to the UN, and the so-called coalition delegation representing the opposition, ended. This session was limited to the speech delivered by the United Nations envoy to Syria, al-Ibrahimi. A new evidence on the so-called coalition delegations, the opposition confusion and dependency, is their attendance to the session after change in their members. On the other hand, the news correspondent to Geneva mentioned that the second session will be held at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, Damascus local time. A local source close to al-Ibrahimi asserted that the session will be limited to the humanitarian issues. On the other hand, sources close to Syria's official delegation in Geneva said that all what have been mentioned about the agreements are false, and the first discussion session will be held today afternoon. Syria's official delegation, headed by Deputy Premier, Foreign and Expatriates Minister Walid al-Moallem, held a meeting with the United Nations envoy to Syria, al-Ibrahimi, in Geneva. Sources close to Syria's official delegation said that al-Moallem informed al-Ibrahimi that the official delegation is serious and ready to start seriously, but this does not seem to be the case on the other side's delegation. Sources close to Syria's official delegation as saying that al-Ibrahimi has described yesterday's meeting as a half step, which will be a complete step today. The source added that al-Moallem also informed al-Ibrahimi that the international community has to place what the Syrians agree upon, not what would be imposed from the outside. Minister of Information Omran al-Zabi said that the Syrian delegation in Geneva is insisting on the success of the political track more than the following.
In a statement to journalists, Mr. al-Zabi said that the Syrian delegation came to Geneva with an open mind and a free, sovereign and independent national will, and no one, neither major countries nor institutions nor regional states, can dictate its language and conditions on us at all. He added that the Syrian Arab Republic official delegation agreed to come to Geneva too for a discussion with the opposition forces, but it is obvious that the opposition is not represented entirely in Geneva. There is a partial, very narrow and simple representation, affirming that Syria state's political will of conducting dialogue with the national opposition forces will remain. He added that the Syrian delegation is open to discuss everything, especially with regard to Geneva 1, pointing out that Syria's reservations on Geneva 1 were public and not secret.
Deputy Foreign Expatriates Minister and member of Syria's official delegation to Geneva II conference, Faisal al-Muqdad, said, "We believe that getting the Syrian people out of the catastrophe imposed by the new old colonial circle is our main mission." Al-Muqdad told journalists in Geneva, "We are optimistic because we wish to get the Syrian people out of the catastrophe due to the terrorist acts of Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Britain and the United States, armament and funding of the terrorists." Muqdad added, "We need serious discussions and interlocutors, but not manipulation of this side or that," underlying that we will have a firm stance towards these behaviors, and in case the coalition delegation called opposition did not come, we would say enough manipulation and mockery. In turn, Syria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Dr. Bashar Jaafari, affirmed that the Syrian delegation entered the dialogue with a positive national spirit, believing that it is an important step in the political negotiation process. He added that it was agreed with al-Ibrahimi on common denominators to start a political dialogue.
We came with a positive spirit, an open mind, to discuss everything with the other delegation. This is why we are here. everything in Geneva when is about substantive issues, and we have to discuss the whole package. No selectivity. Plus, of course, we may have some reservations with regard this point or that point, but we will discuss everything on time. Today we will not get into the substance. Today is about formalities.
The Syrian community in Geneva yesterday organized a march in front of the United Nations headquarters in the city to support Syria's official delegation taking part in Geneva II conference, affirming Syria's sovereignty and rejecting any foreign intervention in the country's internal affairs.
Participants in the march, including members of the Syrian communities in Europe, Arab and foreign figures who support Syria, saluted Syria, its army and leader, raising national flags and photos of President Bashar al-Assad. They expressed confidence in the delegation and its ability to convey aspirations of the Syrian citizens on top, combating terrorism and preserving Syria's sovereignty and independence of its national decision. Hundreds of Syrians on Wednesday organized a stand in front of the media center of the International Conference on Syria in Montreux City, supporting their homeland in the face of the conspiracy of Western, Arab and regional countries.
In Syria, hundreds of Syrians staged a solidarity stand in Damascus in support of the Syrian official delegation participating in Geneva II conference. Participants affirmed adherence to national principles and hailed the victories realized by the Syrian Arab Army against terrorists. Syria's permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva, Dr. Hamwi, said that the Syrian government provided all the necessary facilitations and protection to the United Nations convoys which delivered aid to Yarmouk camp until it arrived to the designated destination. But terrorists opened fire on the convoy and prevented it from entering the camp. This came in an official memorandum to the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Nevi Pillay, containing the Syrian government's official response to Pillay press statement issued on January 17th regarding the tragic situation in Yarmouk camp. Al-Hamwi said that the terrorists prevented the aid convoy, which was organized in cooperation with the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, from entering the camp as part of the terrorist efforts to starve the people inside the camp, noting that the Palestinian Labor Minister Ahmed Mirzalani confirmed this and affirmed that the Syrian government provided all necessary facilitations and protection to the convoy. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki affirmed that Iraq and the states of the region are facing challenges and what happens in a state affects the others. In a statement, al-Maliki stressed that those who do not condemn terrorists are killing and are political partners to killing and terrorism and supporters of this terrorism. Moving to Iran, where Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has stressed that no state can determine Syria's destiny on behalf of the Syrian people. In a speech he made following his return to Tehran after participating in Davos World Economic Forum, Rouhani said that violence should be stopped in Syria and terrorism must be combated first for reaching a positive outcome of the crisis in the country. Army units continued to chase terrorists and destroy their gatherings in Damascus countryside and Aleppo. More about that in the following.
A number of terrorists were killed and injured while they were preparing a car with explosives inside one of their dens in Basimi village in Damascus countryside. The army eliminated all members of an armed terrorist group near al-Nusra area and killed a number of terrorists in Rima farms in Yabrud. The army units also clashed with terrorists in the areas of Dariya and Khan al-Sheikh, killing and injuring scores of them and destroying their weaponry and munitions. The army also clashed with terrorist groups in the areas of Jobar and Harasta and killed and injured a number of terrorists. In Aleppo and its countryside, army units eliminated a number of terrorists who tried to attack Al-Sayyid Ali village. Scores of terrorists were killed or wounded in the neighborhoods of Al-Salihin, Karam Humid, Al-Sha'ar and Sakhur. An army unit also carried out a qualitative operation against an armed terrorist group near Aleppo Central Prison and near the industrial zone in Sheikh Najjar area, killing a number of terrorists and destroying their equipment, including heavy machine guns.
With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, www.syriaonline.sy. Now to the latest in business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after a short break.